Live. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Whatever those are. What's up, everybody? This is my coffee morning spot report. So I'm out here playing Uber. Not literally, I mean it's my son. So I'm here in Branson, Missouri. This ain't my morning routine, I know. I'm man, I gotta these glasses are not look I like how they're blue. Blue. Anyways, yeah, so we can do a 1, 2, 3 low board report. So let's do that. Let's get that up on the other screen, right? Oh, update. I need to update. Let's update that now. So I guess we're gonna update the app first. So anyways, we've got I had one truck pickup today. And I don't know when they're going to be empty, so it's going to get interesting trying to get him reloaded. I got another truck emptying out today, but I won't have to dispatch him for a minute. Might have a couple more clients, so that's what's going on. Let's get this video up here. I hope everybody had a good 4th. We didn't do any fireworks yesterday. Well, I did a couple of little tiny fireworks. Last night just threw a couple of poppers in the backyard, and that was it. We did all of our blowing stuff up, and look, I have all my fingers. We did all of our blowing up stuff on Saturday is when we did it. So WCF Invader, this ain't my morning routine. Pigtail, what's up? Bull of Woods, what's up? Sterling says hi, Mr. Charles. Portland sucks. Warzone all night. I bet. We last night we were playing, is it gunshots or is it fireworks, right? More likely it was fireworks, right? So, I'm playing hardball with a broker right now, $6.99 for Rolla to Fulton. They don't want to move on the price for that load. What'd you do it for last week? Didn't we do it for 700? They're doing the odd number thing. I'm trying to remember what we did that for. The Hool, what's up? The Hool finally catches a live feed because he's in another country. Greg Zimmer's in Evanston, Wyoming. Buck Brown is running on recap hours. Just so much fun. Let's see here. Got the trailer delivered. All right. Good on you, Paul. Good on you. All right. I don't mind recap hours because I normally didn't run more than 8 or 9 hours a day anyways. I very rarely did my whole 11 towards the end of the last couple of years, I guess. And, well, I mean, more than that, Schneider. I mean, there was a couple of 34s I had to do on the road out of necessity, but usually the way I run, I didn't really need. I didn't really need the whole clock. I didn't do anything last night, but it sounded like everybody around me in Minnesota was blowing crap up. Yeah, you know, I think the cops since 2020, since our shutdowns, they don't enforce the inner city fireworks. Which that surprises me, since when everybody decides that they're mad at somebody and they do the rioting and looting, I'm sorry, protesting, they're throwing fireworks at the cops. So surprised they're not harder on those people. I worked too hard of building a fence on the 4th. 675 last week. So you're getting it for a little bit more. 9 p.m. local time, says the Hool. Wheel burner, it's our yearly tradition of giving the monarchy the finger. Neighbors caught their pickup on fire from shooting fireworks. I saw that, Pale Rider. I saw that. Looks like your video you did about Mark is taking off, too. Man, it's got some good views on that one. People were dropping fireworks off the overpasses in Salem last night. Wow. Those Rala loads keep getting canceled, according to Convoy. I wouldn't be surprised. So I saw something. FreightWaves said that volumes were up a little bit, but when you look further down the road, the freight coming off the boats is at an all-time low. They're at 2019, and they're contracting. In other words, they're shrinking up. And that means that people aren't buying stuff. And that means that there's going to be a shortage, right? There's going to be shortages. Prepare for shortages, because China has stopped making stuff. They've closed down a lot of manufacturing, and so the ports are going to be empty. It's going to be interesting to see if what that does to our freight later this year. So. Everybody's the Whole and Bowl of Woods are talking about NFG. See Miss Charles booked till Monday. 3 good loads even out of Florida for $1.91 a mile. That is good for Florida. Yeah, I'm seeing it's weird. I'm seeing some decent rates, but I'm seeing some low rates for normally better areas. It's kind of weird. I think it's that AI pricing kind of doing their thing, because like I saw that in flatbed. I was helping a flatbedder find something this afternoon. I was really surprised with some of the rates. Like it went from $3 a mile for some stuff and $1.20 a mile for others. And it's crazy. And these aren't generally different areas either. So, yep, you're surprised how many views. So it's probably the title. And the fact that a couple other, I'm surprised. I don't know if Asia Mai's done a thing on Mark State or not, because I don't even think he knows who he is. So, my name is Nobody. Good afternoon. Dying Breed. Hello. China knows the pig has been milked. We need to learn how to make our own stuff now. Yeah, and we were on track to do that until some changes were made, and we all see how that's playing out. So, yeah, so what are you going to do, right? Hey, Steve and crew, Arizona deliveries completed. Thanks again, Rig Runner Logistics, for the hard work. Truck is going in the shop tomorrow to fix AC. The Scorpion is going home and going swimming. Paul, enjoy your time off. I was just getting ready to watch your video of not having AC and surviving in Phoenix, Arizona. So that must have been fun. I've been there, done that. I almost had heat stroke one night. I was delivering in Tyler, Texas, and the AC went out, and the APU wasn't working, so I had no relief. I ended up delivering the load, and I called my shop, because I was a company driver. I said, I'm not doing a dang thing until this AC is fixed. And so they're like, okay. So I went to a Volvo dealership there in Tyler, Texas, and got the AC fixed. It was only $1,800. So I was back, and now that same repair is like probably $4,000. So I was searching for a good hour after your last live, trying to figure out what they're claiming Mark did. Enjoy Pale Riders video. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned what was going on. I shared the article and everything. So yeah, that's where I learned. Now, speaking of bonehead truckers, so Daniel Adami did a contribution to Bonehead where he was videotaping. I want your guys' opinion on this. So he went to the, so obviously there was a team sitting there in the fuel island. There was a couple of trucks behind them, and I don't think Daniel's truck was behind them, but he was like filming them and saying, "Hey, they're in the fuel line," and then so there was a confrontation. The trainee came out and I think kind of bitch slapped them, and it could have gotten worse. Now, what's interesting is the person that hit Daniel Adami had the pants halfway down and he was wearing pot, marijuana paraphernalia clothing, which last I checked, that's still illegal to have. Not the clothing, but I mean, do you really want to show, hey, check out my pot leaf, t-shirt, to the DOT officers getting ready to inspect you? And that's a whole different topic because there's been times when I've had drivers call me and say, "Hey man, the truck next to me, the dude's smoking a joint right there." And then you had all the THC stuff that's going on. So, I imagine that drug stuff is through the roof, with this legalization of marijuana. But regardless, do you think that if you watch that video, do you think that Daniel was in the right? Or do you think that Daniel should have kept it to himself? Because I know that a lot of people don't like it when you shove a camera in their face unsolicited. And so that can create confrontation. And, in these days, I mean, there's been drivers shot over fuel island disputes. And I think that the people that block the fuel islands or, go in without pulling up, I think they know what they're doing. I think the majority realize what they're doing. Sometimes you want to pull up and you're in a hurry, right? But you can't pull up because the truck in front of you hasn't pulled up. So you run in there to use the bathroom and then you come out and all of a sudden there's nobody in front of you and you look like the a-hole, right? You never know if it's a scenario like that. And then you hear about drivers, taking full-on showers parked at the fuel islands. And I think that shoving a camera in their face isn't really going to give them a lesson. No one. Here's the thing. Crime is rampant. Bad behavior is rampant. And cameras are everywhere. We're literally living in Big Brother 1984 world, right? There's probably like 5 cameras sitting at me at this parking lot in Branson, and including dash cams of cars that are constantly recording. I mean, it's, there's cameras everywhere. At Landstar, they had a part of their website where you can actually like, oh, I wonder what it's doing on I-80. You can actually access the camera that goes over the highway. And so there's cameras everywhere, right? So obviously that hasn't, like, everybody having a Ring doorbell's not declined on, hasn't declined the level of home invasion. Home invasions are up in bigger cities. Carjackings are up, even though everybody's got a dash cam, right? So cameras really aren't something that people are afraid of anymore. And what do? They put a mask on, they put their hoodie up. And the good part about that is if you see somebody in a hoodie and it's 100 degrees and they got a full-on mask, you know that they're probably not up to no good, right? So, but I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts? Should you approach somebody and confront them if they're blocking the fuel island? If they're blocking your way, I can see that. But if they're just generally being a-holes, and yeah, you want to educate them. But like, for example, I did a video where this guy in front of me, it was an RVer, obviously didn't know what he was doing. And I could have been confrontational with him. And it's a good thing I didn't, because it was this frail old man that was carrying a sidearm. Who knows? A guy like me walks up to you and I'm aggressive, man, I'm getting shot, So, and you hear about these stories all the time. And so it's you got to be careful confronting people like that. Obviously, they didn't care about the camera. The trainer was flipping off the camera. Obviously, Daniel's efforts weren't really impacting them. It wasn't making them think. It wasn't making them go, "Oh, you know what, sir, you're absolutely right. Let me pull forward. I apologize," right? And in Pacific, Missouri is a great example. There's a pilot in Pacific, Missouri, exit 257, I-44, and you have to go down this long set of stairs just to go into the store. And so usually when you're getting fuel there, you're waiting there a minute, because it's a pain in the butt to go down the hill and then go back up the hill to park. Parking, there's not much parking there. It's one of the crappier pilots. And so people tend to take their, and they're getting Subway or they're getting Taco Bell there. And, and so usually it takes about 30 minutes to fuel there. And so I try to avoid fueling there as much as possible because of that. And there was a person shot there because there was a confrontation. And you never know these days. People are unhinged, especially, people are struggling right now. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about their truck payments. They're worried about whether they're going to keep their contract freight. Everybody's stressed out. So I'm not saying you should live in fear, but you got to be careful who you confront. You never know if you're the last straw, if you're the straw that broke the camel's back, right? I've had Wheelburner says I've had my AC crapped the bed before, but never at 115. That's next level crazy. Yeah, definitely. Videotaping some people and publishing it is the only way to teach some people. Making drugs illegal was dual purpose: give a reason to arrest minorities and to introduce the police state. That's an interesting take on it. The Loves in West Memphis is bad for trucks taking breaks on the fuel islands too. Yes. Um, yeah, and that's what I like. Our fuel network is pretty much TA Petro. They tend to have least amount of issues as far as that goes. There's usually plenty of fuel. Like the Petro and Joplin, man. You've got quite a few fuel islands. So pilot in Augusta, Georgia on 20 barely has room to fuel, let alone take any kind of break. Yeah, I think that's there's one. Oh, where's it at? It's just south of oh, I used to deliver there all the time. There's a wreck at Benkaiser I used to go to. There's a pilot there, and it took me 30 minutes just to get through there. I was gonna park and get a cup of coffee. Couldn't find parking, and then so the only way out was the um, the fuel islands, and I ended up being trapped in there. I was so mad, I almost was late. Zen is never found through confrontation. I agree with that, Sterling, 100%. Um, it's keep your emotions in check. Is it crappy what that team was doing? Absolutely. Throwing a camera in their face, did that help? No. It got him fired from CRST. According to Ike, they said they got fired, but did they learn a lesson through that? I doubt it. All they're going to do is blame the person that did that, and if I mean, I can go in some deeper stuff, but I won't. But you just got to be careful. You never know. I mean, they could blast his name on in their circles on social media and end up end up causing some danger for them, you know. Speed cameras up on 465, speed and road construction, automatic, reckless driving charge. Yes. Yeah, I remember those, Illinois used to use those cameras all the time. And so I never speed in Indiana. I never speed in Illinois. I'm pretty religious about setting my cruise at 55 if it's 55. In a lot of times in Chicagoland, I'm the only person doing 45 in a 45 zone. Getting weird looks and people flipping me off and you know, except when I was with Schneider. Schneider, they expected that from the orange trailer, but good luck getting out in the left lane if you need to pass somebody. 45 on 465. Yeah, I imagine that's a mess right now. I guess it's been a mess for quite a while, to be honest with you. But no, I don't know. I had a friend of mine tell me that the best way to deal with someone that's parked in the fuel island that doesn't it's not considered vandalism and it's not considered harmful and it's not considered confrontational, but is you buy those bolt seals and you put one on one of their trailer doors, and then they have an extra headache when they go to deliver. I had a friend of mine that told me about that. I was just laughing at him. I said those things are like $10 a piece. He goes, yeah, but it's a very, very well spent $10. I'm like, well, yeah, if you got money to burn, I guess. But other than that, so I've got some dispatch to do tomorrow and Friday, and I'm working on a couple of things. I'm working on some direct stuff, and so we'll see if that plays out. So fifth wheel grease on the door handles. Yeah. You guys remember that Alaska trucker? No, yeah, no, Alaskan Cowboy. That was his name. He doesn't do any YouTube anymore. He was over there at Godfrey with Thor. He had an incident where he was accused of cutting somebody's airlines at a fuel island, and whether he did it or not, I have no idea. I know he pleaded innocent to me. I hung out with him one day, but there was a social media hit on him after that. So it became kind of messy for him. But I mean, you never know. Someone could be psychotic enough to cut an airline. Not saying he did it or not, but there's all kinds of things people can do to the truck, and some people ain't gonna be nice. Grease on a trailer door or an extra seal put in there. That's small change compared to someone beating you up or shooting you or having some kind of full physical confrontation. I saw a guy at Dollar General find out someone locked his trailer for him. He was trying to figure out how to get it off. He was there when I got there, and when I left, not sure what happened. TikTok is full of fifth wheel pullers. Yeah, that's the other thing. When I first started at Schneider, Jeff told me, he goes, always check your fifth wheel. Even if you are at a Dollar General DC and you go in to get your paperwork and you come back out, always check it before you go in the truck. Always check it, because you never know. You have somebody with an attitude. Let's say you're a single owner operator that's struggling, and you see Schneider took all the freight that you were moving. You see that all the time. And so even to this day, it is a habit that's ingrained in my head. Always, always, always check the fifth wheel. And yeah, so that could be a situation. Over here, a lot of speed cameras also check your plates for other issues like tax and other issues, I bet. You've got those cards that you have to put in your. Do you have those cards that you have to put in your truck to even start it? Is that how that works? Those ID cards. All these things are why I park in the back at truck stops. I always have my truck and trailer locked. I try to avoid truck stops when I can. Rest areas are where it's at, in my opinion. I it depends, right? There's some rest areas where I've seen, like there was a rest area there in just north of Liberty, Missouri, where someone got shot and robbed at the rest area. Rest areas have less cameras if you think about it. Um, and as far as locking the trailer, I'll lock the trailer, but locks are easily. We had a trailer here at Like that they took a grinder and cut off the little tab that the lock goes into. So a lock only stops an honest man or a lazy thief, and the whole rest area was hit. It was a rest area right south of West Memphis, and then he had the rest area in Georgia where somebody came in and drilled holes in all the tires of the trucks that were on the lot. So rest areas are no better than truck stops when it comes to safety and vandalism opportunities. So, oops. I like the fifth wheel grease on the door handles though. The whole top 10 signs you're pissed off your mechanic, you find ball bearings with grease on them, locations that will make noise. Is that something you do? I know you're a mechanic of some kind. All these things are why okay, I already read that. Slap a radioactive placard on the back of the trailer. Yeah, that might work. I don't know. I don't. You got to buy those. I've never hauled radioactive. Those are kind of hard to find. Thomas Wilson made up some stuff, and his missus almost killed you. How? That's interesting. Well, that's that drama that you guys are all involved with on that Zello stuff, probably. Um, yeah, that was a few years ago, Don, on that Liberty Rest area. Here, certain rest areas you might get gassed. Yeah, that recent attack on all those trucks at two Georgia rest areas, right? Yep, time for registration, but also normal four-wheeler gets checked instantly by computer if they drive under speed cameras for other issues. And that's coming here. That's the plan. Is all this safety stuff is about compliance. ELDs are about compliance. They're the way stations are going to be able to scan everything about you and know what your tire pressures are, know what your tire temps are. They can X-ray your trailer. I mean, they're going to know everything about you. And hell, they in Indiana they got face recognition software to see if you're even tired or not. And like I watched a video with an Amazon van driver, just an Amazon delivery van, and they can't even take the wheel off their steering wheel without some alarm going off. Like if you want to like take your hand off to grab your cup of coffee, it detects that, right? I mean, I took a rental to Matt's not this past year, but the year before, and that actually had sensors on the steering wheel to know if my hands are on the wheel or not. They use AI to detect texting on phones now. How does that work? It has its advantages. If there was a murder, they could track the getaway car basically everywhere. That's kind of what it's going to turn into. They already have, like for example, I got a friend of mine with a Volvo, right? Brand new Volvo. And his truck is set up to where he could have a check engine light. And all he has to do is call a shop. and say, hey, what's going on with this light? They can diagnose it remotely, and then a computer will actually order the part and and make an appointment. It's getting crazy. The days of running that, 97 389 and doing the back roads away from the way stations, those days are slowly disappearing. Extra censorship. Yeah, Carnivore Trucker, absolutely right. Park in the rest area here, you wake up with font, clip, mirrors, batteries, diesel, and some other stuff. They got license plate readers just put up on 63 just south of Columbia for 6 months ago. Yeah. I have that exact same system on my truck. They just sent me an email today about my misfire, my little fuel problem I had today. You were having an injection problem with that truck though, weren't you? That's what you told me at Matt's. So, yeah, it's crazy. Trucking is being swallowed up by the computers. Um, Watch everything that happens in Europe and California. It's coming to a country near you. Yes, I agree with that. Yep. Yeah, that's where it all starts, is usually California. Good afternoon, Snorelord. Greetings from Springfield, Ohio, on my way to Kenosha. That's a good run. Springfield, Ohio ain't a bad spot. They have the iSave from Volvo in the US now. They sold like 5,000 trucks here in Europe when they launched it. In the UK, they even have face recognition cameras in use. Yeah, I remember 10 years ago, they were talking about how they use face recognition software at the Super Bowl to catch criminals. And so here's the thing, if they really want to catch you, they can. I mean, well, for example, I know somebody that they had a family member that hit a car in a parking lot, didn't realize it. And the people called the police to see what they could do, and the investigators were able to find they had a plate number, so they were able to access several cameras for proof. I mean, that's actually happened. So I mean, it's tough to get away with anything these days. The real question is, why does Europe have the best trucks? I don't know. Their trucks probably don't go nearly through the hardships that our trucks do. That's part of it. You know, one country is the size of one of our states. So now I hate to be a truck driver in France right now, and that's probably very interesting. Euro ELD are way harder than yours. None of that paper stuff. If ELD isn't working, you're not moving, period. Wow. They should have that for regular drivers. In Europe, diesel costs money. Mostly fleet owners and larger companies, so no need for the owner-op conventionals. Also, laws are stricter. Yeah. Europe has the best regional trucks. I don't know if I would do, 3 weeks out OTR in them. But, what are you going to do? Just keep on keeping on. So, getting hot in here. Doo-doo. What are you guys seeing on rates? Those of you in the spot market. Chucky, what are you seeing? Are you back out? Got 45 people in here. I've got nothing to say. I'm literally just killing time. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at the 123 low board. So you can. So the app is a little bit different, right? So you got your screen there. So let's click on load availability. Nice, cool. All right. There's your. It's not a map, but there's your states. They're green and red. So let's put this on reefer. And I think they're working on doing the map. Oh, hey, gotta go. Peace.